What's going on, y'all? So let's talk about the Shanquella Robinson situation. So it seems as though Shanquella's family is upset because it seems as though the U.S. is moving very slow to extradite Dejanay Jackson back to Mexico to be held accountable for her role in Shanquella's passing. Now, most of us are privy to what went down in Mexico, but for those of you who aren't, I will give you a bit of a backstory. So Shanquella went to Mexico to celebrate her birthday, right, on October the 28th with 6 individuals that she thought were her friends, but they turned out to be hating idiots who seemed to have been plotting on Shanquella Robinson and not having her best interest at hand. So basically, they set her up, in my opinion, and that's what it looks like. And so this woman by the name of Dejanay Jackson was the aggressor. And so essentially, Mexican authorities found Shanquella Robinson passed away the very next day. Now, what's interesting about this dynamic is the fact that Shanquella's so-called friends communicated to Shanquella's family stating that she was unresponsive due to drinking too much alcohol. And so basically, they try to place blame on the fact that it could have been alcohol poisoning, and that's the reason why Shanquella was unresponsive. But ultimately, there was video footage that was leaked to the internet by one of Shanquella's so-called friends that conveyed a different story. And so basically that footage shows Shanquella being violated to the 10th power. Now, on November the 28th, 2022, Dejanay Jackson was arrested for her role in the passing of Shanquella Robinson, and she faces the charge of femicide. Now, ever since Dejanay's arrest, she's been in federal custody for about 4 to 5 months, and Shanquella Robinson's family is like, what's the holdup? Well, the holdup is the U.S. According to the Mexican authorities, they've said that they've done everything that they can do, and that it's up to the U.S. to complete the necessary steps so that Dejanay Jackson can be extradited back to Mexico to face charges. Now, what I want to do right here is implement this clip of Shanquella's sister actually talking about this situation in its entirety. I want you guys to sit back and listen to this clip, and then I'll be right back.
We're not getting the help that we're seeking. I reached out to the FBI probably about 3 weeks ago, and I'm still waiting on someone to return my call. And every time that we have spoken with them and they're giving us an update, the update is nothing. They're not telling us nothing. Well, they say they can't tell us anything, which that's understandable. But I mean, by now you think we'll have some type of relief, or at least give us the decency to call us back. At one point we would call and they wouldn't answer. And then when I call from a different number, they'll pick up. It's frustrating.
And so it says here, the heartbroken family of Shanquella Robinson are upset with U.S. officials for abandoning them in their pursuit for justice following her tragic passing in Cabo. The family's attorney revealed they plan to head to Washington, D.C. to rally for public support and calling on the U.S. Department of State to take action. The Robinson family attorney, Sue Ann Robinson, recently gave an update after returning from a trip to Mexico, claiming it's been hard for them to get information. We weren't greeted with the consulate and taken to the Attorney General's office. We kind of had to make our own way in order to get the information. Robinson, who is not related to Shanquella's family, told WSOC TV, Channel 9. We did not receive any assistance from the consulate despite their knowledge of the protocols in Mexico that the Attorney General would require the consulate to be involved because it's a crime involving a U.S. citizen, added the attorney. Robinson said she was able to correspond with the Mexican Attorney General, who said that they had completed their investigation and prepared an extradition packet. The extradition information was forwarded to the U.S. authorities, and now they are basically waiting for our government to do the next steps in the process. Robinson explained that Shanquella's case is unique as the extradition process is requiring the United States to essentially turn over a U.S. citizen or citizens to the Mexican government in order to be brought to justice under their criminal justice system. It just takes a high-level diplomatic intervention, the attorney clarified. Now, what I want to do right here is read Ben Crump's letter in regards to the protest that should be taking place right now as I'm doing this video in DC. So it says attorneys Ben Crump and Sue Ann Robinson to demand diplomatic intervention by U.S. in Shanquella Robinson's passing in Mexico. Nationally renowned civil rights and personal injury attorney Ben Crump and attorney Sue Ann Robinson of Frontline Law will hold a news conference on March 3rd, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to demand diplomatic intervention by President Biden and the U.S. Department of State to prioritize bringing those accountable for Shanquella Robinson's passing to justice. Robinson was blanked in October while vacationing in Mexico. According to Mexican prosecutors, one of Robinson's friends was the direct aggressor of her passing. Initially, friends of Robinson claimed that her cause of passing was alcohol poisoning, but an autopsy revealed that it was severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation. Attorney Sue Ann Robinson recently returned from a fact-finding mission in Mexico on behalf of Shanquella's family and met with Mexican authorities to discuss the case. And then it just goes on to list, the people that are going to be speaking at the event and where and what time and things of that nature. And so this is a very unfortunate situation. It's extremely disrespectful in my opinion. I don't understand why the US is dragging their feet in extraditing Dejanay Jackson back to Mexico to face charges, but it's just highly offensive in my opinion. Now, it comes across extremely disrespectful in regards to what Shanquella Robinson's sister said, that, she's been making calls to the FBI and they were avoiding her as if Shanquella Robinson's family is a burden. That is extremely deplorable on so many levels. And also in my mind, I feel like all 6 of the individuals involved should do time in a Mexican prison and see if they can thrive under those extreme conditions in a Mexican prison. Because listen, in my estimation, I don't care. All of them should be held responsible and held accountable for what happened to Shanquella Robinson in some form and in some fashion. But anyway, I'm gonna let this slide here. I want you guys to drop down and let me know what you think about this entire situation. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.